Yeah.
Peace, greetings to you all. It's your brother Naheem, BKA Lord Abba, aka Mr. Just the Facts. Family. We are pushing our membership tonight. Come join the Freedmen movement. I need all of you who are in the building to click like on the video. Share the video out. If you know someone that's ready to do something and they've been advocating for reparations and just social justice, right? Because that's really what reparations entails. It's justice, particularly for our society of people. And I'm going to get into a little bit of that later as well. Share the link out. Send this to them. Let them know that we are opening up our membership. The family is up in here deep. Of course, BTP Josh is on deck. We ready to go. Brother Sessions L is in the building. BTP Riri is on deck. Sister Kelly Pryor, what's good, sis? The Nevada Freedman is in the building. Vince Jefferson plugged in as usual. Wow, what's good? Gerard Ibn Lamont. We got the Detroit Freedman up in the building. Sister Shanna, BTP Shanna. Shout out to the BTP mods and the Freedman family. We got our Bay Area Freedmen up in the building. Share the video out. It's time to grow. It's time to move this movement forward. We believe that we have the intellectual tools that we need to move this thing forward. And we've received that confirmation in our intellectual discourses with people that are way more knowledgeable about certain things than we are. But when we have presented our side of the information, those very people said, you know what, y'all got it. And now it's time for all of us to get it. Shout out to our brother Jonathan Brian Freedman, our New England Freedmen are in the building, fam. Man, Josh, let's get it in, bro. We're opening up. Go to the website, usadof.org. You'll see the membership application is there. It's there. It's time for us to start moving. And we have our board is set, but we still have like 2 more positions to add to our board. So one more quick announcement, and I'll make this announcement as we move along. Next Saturday at 3 o'clock, we are going to be having a discussion about organizational structure. And for those of you who are ready to start chapters in your states, Saturday at 3 o'clock, I'm going to be putting that link out. For those of you that know how to reach me, hit me up. If you got my phone number, hit me up. If we're connected on Twitter, hit me in a DM. You need my email address. It's Naheem at usadof.org. Honors to our brother Gerard Ibn Lamont with the generous contribution to our platform and to our organization. It's time to move this thing, family. It's just time to move this thing. Dre, what's good, bro? I see you. You know, the Freedmen are in here. Josh, what's going on, bro?
Peace, man. Hey, it's time to build. It's time to build, man. We've been talking about this for a while, and we're just putting together the structure, getting things right. It's time to build. It's time to build. A lot of us are solid in this information, ready to teach and ready to make an impact. But the power is in the collective moving together in one direction with one message across the country.
That's right. That's right. I'm just sharing the link out because I forgot today has been a rather interesting day. My morning started crazy, and everything just got a little crazier. But that's what life is. Life is crazy, and we do what we do because we are trying to help fix some of the crazy as it pertains to our people. So we want to make sure that we are expanding our platform and that we are not just talking in a bubble. It is time to grow. It is time to grow. So I'm just sharing the link out, and then I'm going to get into it. Who else? I'm forgetting somebody. All right, cool. All right, so yep. We are growing, family. I'm excited. We wanted to wait until Juneteenth, but I don't know. Today, there was a sense of urgency. There was a sense of urgency, and I felt it. It hit me. It really, really hit me because we are in a race for time. When there's a saying by the biblical Jesus, right? There's a saying by the biblical Jesus that says that a prophet has no honor in his own home. And this work that we're doing it's not glorified to the extent that we feel that it needs to be. It's a lot of painstaking research, and it's not rewarding. It is absolutely not a rewarding job for those of us who are serious about this because we see the future. We see the type of America that our children are going to have to live in. And we don't want our children to have to sell out for nothing. Remember that movie John Q, where Denzel Washington plays a character, real life story, where he has to basically hijack a hospital just so his son can get the treatment that he couldn't afford. And I remember the scene where he told his son, he said, sell out. Even if, he said something like, even if you got to sell out, then you sell out. Why? Because he was trying to let it be known that this country don't love us the same way it loves everybody else. And I need you to be in a position that when you have children, you won't have to go through this and risk life and limb and injury and freedom just so you can get your child the medical treatment that he or she needs. And that part of that movie stuck with me. And what we're doing right now is legacy work. Legacy work. We are a lineage-based organization. We are a part of what is called heritage or lineage societies. And I'm going to pull that up in a few. I want to break down our mission statement. We're going to be changing some of this really, really soon. But Josh, did you have anything that you wanted to share before we get into that?
No, let's hop right into it.
Okay, definitely. Let me give some more shout outs, man. All right, honors, man. Mike, Gerard Ibn Lamar, honors, brother. Honors to you. Iron Physique, what's going on? Our LA Freedmen are in the building. Charlie Jacobs says, peace, American Freedmen family. No matter what it looks like, keep pressing forward. That is the message, fam. We're going to keep pressing forward because the people that are against us, they are never going to stop. They're never, ever going to stop. So what I want to do is I want to pull up our About page. I want people to know the mission of the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. Again, make sure y'all share this video out. Click the like button. If you are not subscribed to the channel and you are watching from either YouTube or Twitter, just come on over to the YouTube channel. Click like on the YouTube video and subscribe. And hit that little bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you can become a part of the Notification Nation and be informed every single time Be the Power goes live and or uploads our dynamic content. So this is the About Us page on our website, usadof.org. I don't know, I'm excited right now, brother Josh. I feel it in my energy. I hear it in my voice. So our organization, our vision is simple. Our vision is simple: to ensure that the broken promises of Reconstruction are fulfilled for today's American freedmen. You all have no idea the hours that we put into this. Sister Roz, what's going on? DMV freedmen are in the building. DMV freedmen are in the building. So what's the answer to those who live in the USA? I don't really understand your question, Sister Yolanda Parker. What's the answer to those who live in the USA? I mean, what we're doing is for those who live in the United States of America, particularly the American freedmen. But I want people to understand our vision. And as I was saying, we spend, hours going over all of the nuance. We are breaking down things that law professors, I remember talking to one of our sisters who's a lawyer, and I was explaining to her a little dust up that happened and about the whole thing with lineage-based reparations versus race-based, especially how we see lineage-based reparations. Some people see it different. When we say lineage-based, we mean our families, those of us that can trace our lineal bloodlines through our people who were enslaved and then emancipated in this country via the 13th Amendment, via the Emancipation Proclamation, the 13th Amendment, and even before then, right? And we're going to put the broader description up on our website, although it's already there in the link that says our letter to the Supreme Court. We are defining what a freedman is, right? By status. What is a freedman by status? And so our organization is designed for the purposes to ensure that the broken promises of Reconstruction are fulfilled for today's American freedmen. I want to read our mission. We're going to change some of this. We're going to change some of this really soon, but I still want to read it. The United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen is an organization dedicated to the purpose of honoring the memory of its freedmen ancestors, protecting, preserving, and marking the places made historic by freedmen blood and heroism, collecting and preserving the material for a truthful history of the institution of chattel slavery, the overthrowing of congressional Reconstruction and events thereafter, recording the participation of freedmen in their patient endurance of hardship and patriotic devotion during and after the Civil War, fulfilling the sacred duty of benevolence toward the surviving families of American slavery, and subsequent atrocities, assisting descendants of emancipated persons in securing a proper education, honoring the service of veterans from all wars, as well as active duty military personnel, and cherishing the ties of friendship among the members of the organization. That last sentence, cherishing the ties of friendship among the members of the organization. We are trying to grow something here. Peace, Black Seed. I see you, fam. DMV Freedmen in the building. We are trying to grow a community here. And this was never about social media posturing and building a cult or anything of that nature. What we are doing with the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen is evident and it is clear. There can be no mistake or no uncertainty about our direction. And the fact that we stand on all 10 toes as we stand in the footprints of our freedmen ancestors while standing upon their shoulders at the same exact time. This is our vision. This is our mission. If this is something that you would like to be a part of, again, go to our website, usadof.org. The link is in the description. So let me see. All right, so let's go to Yolanda Parker's question. How do freedmen lineage, African descent people, etc., achieve the mission, overcome what's against us, systems that are against us, etc.? Josh, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, I'll say, well, first we got to define us. That's what we're doing here. We're trying to define us, and we're trying to make sure that us, the group that's us, understands who we are and what we want collectively, and then we got to take the proper action to get it done. And the proper action, there's a lot. There's various ways that you can take action to get results. And some people say, well, we need to separate. You hear that from certain groups, and we've already spent time showing how that's not the right strategy. Some people say, well, we need to fight. We need to fight, militarily. Well, we've also shown how that doesn't make sense with only 13, 14, whatever percent of the population. So the model that we're using, first, we got to do education, and that's what we're doing. But the model that we're using is political action. And even though we're only 13% of the population, 13, 14% of the population in the United States in total, when you are able to bring that number and consolidate it in a smaller geographical and political zone, then you're able to get, once your people start moving collectively, then you're able to get some results that we never got before and that we were on track to get coming right out of Reconstruction. And so we'll break that down. That's going to get into what we call our back south strategy, or what we call Operation Closed Fist. So essentially what we're saying is we have a plan and a strategy for this, but it's going to take a lot of collective action, and it's really going to take buy-in and people taking the necessary steps to get it done. But there's precedent for it, right? There's precedent. We can look at, if you ever wonder how in the world did a place like Hick, Vermont, elect hippies who have been in power since the 70s, early 70s, and it's because they put into action the strategy that we are talking about and we're pushing forward today. So that's the short answer. But I'm gonna pass it back to you, Brother Naheem.
Indeed. And thank you, Josh, for that breakdown. Whatever questions you have, post it in the inbox. EYCH. Posting. We're going to try to get to every question. So, Sister Yolanda said, how does the Freedmen lineage, African descent people, etc., achieve the mission? Overcome what's against us, systems that are against us, etc. What I want to do now is I want to go to some of our 12-point program. I want to show people that we are not just talking and that we have a plan and that our agenda is actually playing out. And it's playing out due in large part to our advocacy and what we've been teaching in this space for the past 3 years. I think going on 4 years. Well, 3 years. 3 years. So this is our agenda. Let's get into this. We're going to teach tonight while we do our membership drive, because this is just what we do. We have 12 points here, and I want to go through some of them because we've identified these 12 out of many, and we might even change a few of these. I'm not sure, or just add some more. But we wanted to keep it. We wanted to keep it at a round number that's not, it's just not too much. But each point is brief, but it's impactful when you understand what's needed to be done to get each point done. My bad. I'm trying to talk, think, type, and all of that at the same time. So I'm pulling up something real quick. So just give me 1 second, because I want to show and prove that we are not just talking. We're not just talking. We're not just talking at all. I want people to know that this is real. Let me see. Hold on. All right. The one article that I'm looking for is not coming up right now for whatever reason. Come on. I just want to show people. All right, I got it. All right, cool. So let's go through these first two. All right. So it says, number one, by way of the 13th Amendment in 1865, our enslaved ancestors were freed from private bondage nationally. Congress passed the Freedmen's Acts of 1865, and in 1866, on behalf of these, our freedmen ancestors, as their direct descendants, we demand to be recognized by the federal government, its Office of Management and Budget, in its federal directive as American freedmen. So I want to let's close that out real quick. Again, family, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Peace, Sister Antonia. Man, our New England freedmen they up in here, man. The Boston Freedmen are on deck. Detroit Freedmen, DMV Free. It's a family affair. And in a few, we're going to get into a lineage organization. But I want people to see something real quick. I want people to know that we set an agenda. We set out a plan. And we are working our plan directly and indirectly. So check this out. Now, remember what point one of our agenda says, that we demand to be recognized by the federal government, its Office of Management and Budget, in its federal directive as American freedmen. So this is NBC News, and we're all familiar with NBC News, right? It says government contemplates updating the U.S.'s racial and ethnic categories. The White House's Office of Management and Budget, which is hosting 3 virtual town halls about the subject this week, is set to decide on the new classifications next year. So I'm going to just scroll on down. And who do you see right there? You see me. You see me right there, featured, right? And I'm going to read some of what they have for me. Let me see. All right, I'll just start here. It says several Black Americans, like Way, whose ancestors were enslaved, said in public comments to the OMB that they would like to be identified in a category such as American freedmen. We're not reading the rest of that because that doesn't matter. Way also recommended substituting the word population group for race. Conflating African American with Black has blurred what it means to be an African American, right? So I could close that out. I could put that link to the inbox so y'all can see it and know that we have a plan and that we are working our plan. And yes, it's been slow. It's been slow, but things of this magnitude won't be overnight. It's just not going to be anything that's overnight. Not of this magnitude, not what we're trying to do. So let's go to number 2. Let's go to number 2 on our agenda. Number 2, we demand that the federal government reestablish the Freedmen's Bureau with satellite branches in states where the Bureau is needed. Now, in our initial planning, we spoke about this at length, the team and I, and we spoke about how even if we can get Freedmen's Bureaus operated through the local government, states governments, that we would have some type of leverage, because what we're doing is we're creating footprints, because we're watching what other organizations are doing, and the stuff that they're trying is failing all over the place. But the stuff that we're doing and that we've been advocating for, it has wind beneath its wings. We demand that the federal government reestablish the Freedmen's Bureau with satellite branches in states where the Bureau is needed. So in California, let's come out of this, stop sharing this. I want people to know that what we're doing is taking root all over the country. What we are proposing, our plans is coming to fruition. NBC News, again, why an 1860s agency that helped newly freed Blacks might return in California. The California Reparations Task Force will recommend a new version of the Freedmen's Bureau to administer any potential reparations programs. That's us, fam. That's us. That's us right here. Let me put that link in the chat. Man, honor, brother Gerard Ibn Lamar, honors, brother. Honors for your contributions tonight. This is what I'm talking about. This is what's needed, because we got to move this thing forward. Let me unshare this, because I want people to know that we are dead. I started a GoFundMe, fam, right? And I started this GoFundMe because we got to hit these college campuses. We got to go talk to the people. NARC and COBRA and all of their branch organizations, they are trying their best to muddy up the waters when it comes to reparations. They are intentionally trying to push race-based reparations, because their plan is to hit the American government for as much money as they can, whether it's through HR 40 being passed finally, or through Biden passing an executive order for a study. Either way, those legacy organizations, as they're called, they're going to be on that commission. And it's going to be race-based. The right is going to challenge it, and it's going to fail, because our voices are becoming so prominent. We are in the media. I just showed y'all me in the newspapers. I'm in several newspaper articles, several of them. Well, we're watching Narcan and Cobra, who receives $3 million from the MacArthur Foundation, who's receiving money from, I don't know, Arise, or Right, etc., from Liberation Ventures. Now, I'm not saying that as nonprofit organizations that are in the fight for reparations, we shouldn't not take that money if it's donated. I'm not saying that. One thing about the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen to be the power is that when we do get it, we're going to make sure everybody else get it. And that's a fact, especially those that we know are serious about this movement. But that's a conversation for another time, and that will be a conversation at another time. But this is what's going on, and they are all over the country. All over the country, they are. I mean, they're having conferences, they're having summits, they're having events. They are trying to take over the reparations movement. They're trying to replace red, white, and blue with red, black, and green, and red, green, and yellow, or whatever those other Pan-African colors are. We got to stop that. So in order to do that, while we are trying to figure out, because we are a rather new nonprofit organization, we have to take things in our own hands. So, family, I'm putting together a fundraiser so I could at least hit 2 HBCUs in the state of Georgia. After that, I want to go to South Carolina. After that, I want to go to North Carolina. And then I just want to, not just me, obviously my team as well, but this is what the membership is for. So we can start building and start pulling people into our classes and our circle so that we could all be on the same page saying the same thing. And so now you can be giving lectures in your home state where those HBCUs are.
Oh, yeah. You already know. Virginia,
That's
Maryland,
right.
D.C. That's what we on over here.
That's right. That's right. We got Brother Ali in the building. What's going on, bro?
Peace to the fam. Peace to the fam. Yo, who's that in that picture with you there?
That looked like my brother Ali right there in that picture.
Yo, where were y'all at? Where were y'all at, bro?
Well, we was at a reparations march last October in Washington, D.C., you know, and we was going in. We only had a little bit of time. So, you know, I gave my time to my brother Ali. Y'all know I think all y'all are better orators than I am anyway. So I didn't mind doing it. But I just got up there and I said a few words, and, you know, I let my bro just have the rest. Go in. And my bro went in just like my brother Josh went in, just like Sister Roz went in, Brother Rashad, everybody that got up on that mic. Derek, shout out to Ty Harper, brother Derek. Yep. Even though my brother Derek had like 30 my man had 30 flashcards. We was looking at the time like Brother Derek was like, I'm getting all my points off today. I got my daughter here with me. I'm showing out today.
The cutest.
That's right. That's right.
Too, man.
So
amazing.
You know, it was an event, and there's a bunch of events going on this year, man. Shout out to everybody that's out there putting in that work on behalf of the American freedmen. Shout out to the freedmen in New York City. We seen the sister Nikki, I can't remember her last name, the councilman in New York City, talking that American freedmen talk.
Actually, she's a state. I think she was a state assembly person.
State assembly person. That's the real right there. That's the real right there. That's what we're on. That's what
Nikki Lucas.
Nikki Lucas. She was spitting that hot freedman fire. The state assembly, that's in the record books. It's in the record books. You know, Sister Shannon said in Cobra is holding a 3-day conference in Oakland next Thursday. They're all over the place. They just did something in Atlanta. I got my days confused because I thought it started on Friday. But on Friday, I had to go make a move. So I missed the whole thing. I said it's cool. All right, so let's get to Sister Yolanda's question. She says she may have missed the point. What's the goal of this group? To create our freedom for ourselves, change the political culture. Yes, those are some of the goals, right? To create freedom for ourselves. We are ultimately an organization that pushes for reparation. And we do that through a series of education, right? Which comes right here on our Be the Power YouTube channel. The goal of our group, I've stated, is to ensure that the promises of Reconstruction are fulfilled. It is the reason why
for today's American freedom.
For today's American freedom.
That's right. That's exactly right, bro. Like, you know what's fire is we took time and we put a lot of thought and effort into these statements. And we are always looking to refine, but I don't want to diminish like the time in the the vibe we were on when we like refine and put together the exact language for a lot of what we said, because that is an extremely powerful statement when you just think about where we were in what people call the, I think it was the 7 magical years,
Mm-hmm.
um, after the Civil War or during Reconstruction, um, and the trajectory that we were on, and where we would be today if there was simply impartiality. We're not even talking about if reparations was put in place. We're talking about impartiality. If we were able to just have the same rights as American citizens, and we didn't have to experience white terrorism through the White League and the red shirts and the Ku Klux Klan, and did not get the proper protections from the federal government as other citizens should get, especially as patriots who the president said saved the country from becoming the Confederate States of America. If you just think about where we would be today if the promises were kept that were made to us, that's the goal of this group, is to ensure that the promises of Reconstruction are fulfilled for today's American freedmen. Now that's kind of a broad statement, but use your imagination to think about where we would be. And that's what we're doing when we're crafting programs. We're looking at how can we craft programs and how can we facilitate the outcomes, or where we create the outcomes that would happen if that we believe will happen if we had those promises fulfilled.
Exactly. And as a 501c3 organization, we are going to do and have been doing a lot of things that other 501c3s have done. The thing is just how we are structured is different. And we are, because of how we're structured, a very, very powerful organization. And just stick around, Sister Yolanda, because I'm going to break down what I said earlier when I said we are a lineage organization, right? And this thing is about us getting back to our freedmen roots. Like Brother Josh was saying, had those promises been upheld, had we received reparations that Lincoln gave us, we're not here. We're not having this conversation. We are living in a heaven on earth that is created by the will and the toil and the sweat of our ancestors right now. But because those promises were broken, and because the thing that like land that was set aside for us, because these things were reversed, we had to live in squalor, and we had to keep fighting our way back to the finish line every single generation, every generation. And so our organization, from a grassroots level, we're going to make sure that we, through Be the Power, our political advocacy group, are involved in the political process. There are things that are on the books right now that they tried to hide from us, that they don't talk about anymore, but we are uncovering them. And I'm going to show some of that stuff. I'm going to show it. Our logo. And y'all jump in, Ali, whenever you want to, if you got anything to share, just jump in. I want to get to some of what we represent. If you look at our logo, we have the American flag and the Juneteenth flag. Obviously, right? The Juneteenth flag has grown to become a symbol of freedom. And I have a flag that I'm working with. I might put it out there, test the waters to see what people think about it, but it's for a specific purpose. But I still might put that out there. I think it looks fine. I do. I don't know. I could be off. But if you look in the symbols, right? You have the Phrygian cap or the freedom cap. Brother Derek did a whole breakdown on this, right? A whole breakdown on his Facebook page. And it was something that we've done as well in the past because we were in the Moorish movement, right? And we see the bugle. What is the bugle? The bugle was that instrument that created the clarion call to war that was blown by our freedmen ancestors who, without their help in the Civil War, we would have been living in the Confederate States of America. And Sister Yolanda, I hate to say it, sis, but you'd be somebody's bedwench right now still. Some white man's bedwench right now. Had our ancestors not fought in the war. I want you to take that into consideration as you think about what this organization is trying to reestablish. When we look in the center, we see a freedman family. We see man, a husband, a wife, and his children, because that's what our organization represents. It is a family-oriented organization. And we see a chain that's broken, because that is what we're doing here. The physical chains and shackles have long been removed from our people, but the mental shackles are what plague us and hold a majority of our people back right now. And that's largely due in part to the teachings of the Daughters of the Confederacy. That's largely due in part to those teachings. These were white women.
The sons of Confederate veterans and the United Daughters of the Confederacy. Isn't it apt that we have an organization called the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen to combat and reverse the damaging effects of those Confederate legacy organizations? We need to have a Freedmen legacy organization, and let's go a little bit further and break things down, because Naheem, go back to the last point you were just making
about the mental shackle.
Yeah, I want to talk about the shackle. See, a lot of times you brought up the physical shackle and you brought up the mental shackle, but there's also a legal shackle through American policy that is not as overt, that creates the same type of result as the physical shackle and the mental shackle. It's like somewhere in between, but it creates the situation that we have the same type of result to the point where we have more of our people that are in prison today than that were enslaved in 1850. And you have way more people who are disenfranchised, without the vote, without the ability to access some basic civil rights today, such as voting, such as being able to access certain public services, being able to get licensed to carry firearms, all these different type of things that are basic civil rights that are taken. So now you have a debilitated citizenship and a second-class citizen status. Meanwhile, at the same time, you have a movement that's happening today where people who are not even citizens are able to come and act, and you don't know what their background is. You don't know what they did prior to getting here. They're able to come and access some of the same things that this it's kind of like a silent shackle. It's a shackle you really can't see because it's not overt. It's not calling you and coming getting you by name, but the result of the system that is set up behind these policies is creating is the same. They're able to come in and access civil rights that our people fought for and suffered and dealt with all kind of injustices. And the result is we have a lot of our people that can't access those civil rights today. So I didn't want to just focus on the physical shackle and then the mental shackle, but it's also American policy that's created where they have a plausible deniability, where they let a few of other people, a few white folks, a few, I'm talking about, when I say few, I'm talking about in percentages, there's some, but the result is they have far fewer than, than actually or committing these crimes that are getting put in jail for these crimes based on let's look. We talking about drug arrests. We have far fewer of them that are getting their lives destroyed behind American policy than that our lives are getting destroyed. So we gotta. That's part of this too. And the political change comes when you're able to get the power. That's why the name of this program is called "Be the Power," because it's about becoming the power. And in one of the other agenda items that you're going to hear about, we're going to break down how we can become the power. Back to you, Brother Naheem.
Indeed, indeed. So I'm going to run through these slides real quick, and I'll come out of it. I mean, right now, I want to show this because we've shown this before. But this is when the American government dedicated itself to removing our state of being a destitute people. And that word is so important. I want y'all to pay attention to a lot of the language that we use on this platform because it is important. And when we place emphasis on it, that means it's something that we want the family to look up. Destitute in those Freedmen Acts. Destitute, right? But this is the many field offices of the Freedmen's Bureau. We have to bring this back. They took this from us. They stripped us of the knowledge of our identity. The Daughters of the Confederacy did that. And so we just started calling ourselves by the slave labels of Negroes, colored folks, and black people. Those was labels that was given us in slavery. But after slavery, we got the name freedmen, American freedmen, and the Daughters of the Confederacy through the education system, the same education system every last one of us got from K through 12, made it seem like it was something else. And because of such, we never knew that we too were American freedmen and that name freedmen denoted something. It denoted what it said. Freed men, and freed women. Negro, black, colored denoted slaves. These were labels, brands, service marks that was given us during that time. Oh man, we're gonna get into this thing. So I want to touch on some of the institutions, right? Because we're trying to build the confraternity here. And a confraternity is a organization that composes of women and men. And it's a brotherhood and a sisterhood, united sons and daughters of freedmen. And that we place emphasis on our sisters. And I want to run through this real quick because this is important, right? This was the first Freedmen Hospital. This was located at 323 South Washington Street. And it used to be a contraband hospital before it was turned into a Freedmen Hospital. It said the Freedmen's Bureau existed for only 4 years, but during that time, a movement was started that paved the way for some 90 new hospitals, 90 Freedmen hospitals, y'all, and other healthcare facilities. Each state acquired some type of healthcare facility around 1865 through the turn of the century. By 1900, there were about 40 Freedmen hospitals. And this is important, and I'm going to get to why this is important. This was a Freedmen's ambulance. We had our own ambulances. We don't have that now. Now we are victims of medical apartheid. We are victims. And we go to the hospital. I just seen an article a month ago that says older black men run the risk. I should have pulled that up. I wasn't trying to make my PowerPoint too long. I just kind of wanted to get through it. Run the risk of dying in surgery than any other group. It was not a surprising, it just wasn't surprising at all. You just get used to seeing that stuff. But we, through our organization, are setting ourselves up to change all of that. So the Freedmen Hospital School of Nursing was first founded in 1894. This is where we had our sister our sisters. This is the class of 1930 and several other classes. The hospital was renamed to Howard University Hospital. I think, Josh, you could correct me if I'm wrong on that. In 1972.
Yeah,
And
that was it. It
that
was
was it.
changed to Howard. Yeah.
In my estimation, it was because they wanted to erase this Freedmen thing from us. Look at our beautiful sisters there. Now, I know sisters that work in the nursing field and in the nursing home fields, etc., and have expressed to me how these nursing homes and these hospitals are recruiting nurses from the Philippines. Why? Because we don't have this. Because we don't have this. We don't have this anymore. And there's a consequence to pay because we don't have the freedmen hospitals anymore. Look at this. These are all freedmen, American freedmen. These are not people from Jamaica or Haiti or the Caribbean or the African continent. These are our ancestors from right here. But if you go in a hospital today and you see a quote unquote black person, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be from Africa or they're going to be from the Caribbean. Why? Because this country, they're trying to block us out. They're trying to box us out of everything. And this is 1931, 1932, y'all. The Freedmen's Hospital, 1972, before its name was changed. Didn't we have some people saying that the Freedmen stuff only lasted for 2, 3, 4 years? and stuff like that. I'm just saying, we know that they were lying. Which organization would you want to tie yourself to? One that stands on truth, or one that's going to lie to you for the sake of lying because they are trying to be viewed as cult leaders and pushing some copyrighted name brand as if it represents the name of our family's lineages. See, we can't copyright Freedmen or American Freedmen. We can't do that. It's already in the records. But why was that important? Why was that important? Because if you look at the infant mortality rate, black women, 10.8 times more likely. I don't know if this was times or the rate per. I should have pulled this up. I did this for a presentation I did for North Carolina, so forgive me that I don't have the context of what I'm presenting here. But even in that, you can look at the infant mortality rate for black women, 10.8, for white women, 4.6, for all other races, 5.7. Why is that? Because studies have shown that when black women are treated by black nurses and black doctors, etc., we are, I can't even remember how many more times likely to survive childbirth as our women would survive childbirth, and our babies are more likely to survive. So we got to bring this back, family. We have to bring this back. See, Sister Yolanda, this is a part of the purpose of our organization as well. Make sure you visit that website. Make sure you visit usadof.org. Black women are over 3 times more likely to die in pregnancy, postpartum, than white women, new research finds. 3 times more likely to die in pregnancy and after pregnancy. How do we fix that? Because these people don't care if we live or die. So we have to take charge of that. And that's what our organization is dedicated to. And I'm not going to get into this, but I just want to show that, you know, we did the research on this particular phenomenon.
Yeah, that's one of the points of our 12-point agenda. We talk about this particular issue right here.
You snatched the words out of my mouth. In our 12-point agenda, it says healthcare or hospitals, I can't remember, I'll pull it up, has been to black women what police have been to black men. Something along those lines. So this was just for North Carolina alone. It says, but it may also be because the data is so deeply disappointing. In 2019, North Carolina's overall infant mortality rate was 6.8 deaths per 1,000 births, higher than the national average of 5.7 deaths per 1,000 births. So we go back, right, and we look at this. Think about that 5.7 number, and you see where it says all races. That's everybody. So that's the number that it's speaking about. And even in that, our women we're always the highest in the negative categories, always. And our organization is set up to reverse that. So I don't know what year.
1961.
1961. Thank you, Brother John. That
I checked the chat. Yeah, because
I got to
go
look
ahead.
for my phone because I can't see because I got the PowerPoints up, so I can't, both of my screens are taken up. But yes, 1961. For those that say the Freedmen stuff only lasted for a few years. But let me let y'all know, family, because this is omitted, and Ali could give a little breakdown to this further. Because this is omitted, it says omitted. Well, it's still on the books. Still there. It's just omitted. Ali, what can we pull up?
In other words, hidden. In other words, hidden.
That's right.
Yeah, omitted means that the actual standing of the law is still in effect. The law is still in effect. It just means that it is not. It's not a part of the written code, the United States Code, as the United States Code is published in its most recent form. It's not a part of that, but it's actually still a part of the United States statutes, which are the root of the United States codes.
That's right.
Now, why would they want to do that?
It's a good question.
That's right. That's right. So, hold on 1 second.
Because, Brother Naheem, you brought up Freedmen Hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and it was when at the same time, when they transferred Freedmen Hospital over to Howard to make it Howard Hospital, that was the last Freedmen program that was on the books with America. And that was and after they did that, then they went and omitted Freedmen.
That's right. There's some laws on the books, family. We're not going to get into that on this program tonight. This is a membership drive, but we're teaching. We want to show people why our organization, the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen, the first modern day Freedmen organization since the period of Reconstruction, the only other organization that has been in existence since that time is the Freedmen Church of Louisiana. What's the exact name, Brother Ali?
Oh man, the missionary, the Freedmen Mission,
Freedmen Missionary Baptist Church, something like that.
Baptist General Association or something like that. The Freedmen's Missionary Baptist General Association, I think, something of that nature.
That's right. So I hope our sister Yolanda is still watching, right? Because we are offering somebody. I'm looking at the phone, and somebody said this, Mr. Washington. And shout out to Brother Derek Smith. I see you, fam. Mr. Washington said, where is it? I'm a fan of yours, but too many digs against other Black Americans. Why don't you just challenge the quote unquote leaders of the hashtags? Just food for thought. Number one, none of them would accept that challenge. That's number one. And I don't have to take digs, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how a dig was taken at us right as we're at this point. That's why when I got here, I made sure to read your comment because this is all important because we're battling for the souls of our people at this point because the future depends on real, strong, powerful, upright, independent, and fearless leadership, period. So without the help of our freedmen ancestors, the war would have been lost. It would have been lost. I was reading from Eric Foner's book, Reconstruction. And in the book, he spoke about the military and our people in those days being a part of the military. It was one of the highest honors, one of the highest honors to fight for your country, to fight for this country. And when we went back into our neighborhoods with our Union uniforms on, it inspired the young men in those communities to want to join the army. Due to our mistreatment in World War I, World War II, etc., due to the fact that we did not receive the GI Bill, we did not receive soldiers' wages, even during the time of the Civil War. A stigma developed about the U.S. military, about the federal government in general. I remember talking to one of my sons about joining the military. And one of the words that came out his mouth was the same words that came out of my mouth 20-something years prior. What I look like fighting for this country. I ain't fighting for this country to get killed for this country and yada, yada, yada. The military is so much more than that. And one day I'm going to have a few current and former military come up here to speak to the benefits of the military. And Brother Gerard, I got you, bro. As soon as I come out of the PowerPoint, I'm going to drop that link in the chat. So I want to get back to Mr. Washington's comment, because one of the things that we are proposing is having a Freedmen Youth Military Academy, right? And this was a draft of some uniforms that I had put together. And, you know, I thought, I mean, they need some work. Don't get me wrong, but I still think they look good. Our own Freedmen force, if you will. Military Youth Academy for our young men, because they are in desperate need of this type of discipline, the type of discipline that they received back during or after the Civil War, when our men were able to go into those neighborhoods and teach young men how to be men. And we don't have that nowadays. We don't have it. And the people that you said I was taking a dig at, well, they took a dig at us. They reposted this and tried to make fun and tried to say that we weren't serious, because we are trying to push for a military youth academy. And in the caption of the thread, the tweet, it spoke to the fact that we are trying to capture our youth. So the very people that we are speaking about, they were the ones that came out against this. Are you saying that our young men would not be, our young men and our young women, but especially our young men, would not benefit from something like this? I believe that they would. I believe that we need a Freedmen Youth Military Academy. And they need to know about the history of our Patriot Saints. They need to know about Martin Delany and Prince Rivers and Robert Smalls, et cetera, et cetera. They need to know about Moses Dixon and the tens of thousands of men that he trained up under the title Knights of Liberty, who became a core component of the quote unquote colored troops during the Civil War. They need to know about these things. We have to take this in our own hands. So this is what we are proposing. We are proposing having our own military youth academy. And there are people that have taken shots at that because they have no real programs of worth. They have nothing to go into the inner cities, as they're called, in this country to bring our young men and pull them into a disciplinary state that we need, young men or young women. And so when they're attacking it, they are attacking the masculinity of the thing. That's what they're attacking. But we're not going to let that slide at all. We're not going to let that slide at all. So, brother Gerard, I'm about to put that link in the chat. And man, bro, honors, man, you definitely came through tonight. Hold on, let me put this link in the chat for you. Yeah, click on that link, brother, man, and come on through. Come on through. So yeah, brother, Mr. Washington, they took The tweet should still be up on her wall where she's taking shots. Where she's taking shots at us for trying to do a military academy. That's right, Sister Roz. That 2A training must have disciplined practitioners. That is a fact. That is a fact. Hey, Brother Gerard, that link is in the chat, fam. And Brother Gerard said he could talk about being in the military. That's what I'm talking about. Brother Charlie Jacobs says the military immediately raises one's and their family's standard of living. And that we know because we got brothers that were military on our team. Yeah, what's going on, Brother Gerard? First, honors for the contributions tonight, brother, man. You have definitely come through with the contributions. I was already hyped up for tonight, and you just got me extra hyped right now. So, introduce yourself and tell the fam what you're doing and get into some of that, that military talk.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for bringing me up, bruh. I just felt like, man, BTP, man, y'all have such an instrumental part in my reparations, journey. You know what I mean? I've talked on different panels and on Clubhouse. Naheem, like you like my big brother, bruh. For real. You like my big brother from another mother, man. For real, man. We walk a lot of walks together and we never even met each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's the plus or the glue to this reparationist movement that we have, as Black people, because we love each other. You know what I'm saying? We love being Black, you know what I mean? But more importantly, we love being freedmen. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've talked about it. I think you've already know the story about how initially, you know what I'm saying, I came through under, Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, with the ADOS Detroit movement. But very early on, I recognized that I'm like, wait up, this, we can't be called ADOS. And this, because I was a study of the Panthers and, what I'm saying, and Black, Black movements back in the 70s. And I'm like, maybe we should, what I'm saying, maybe we should be called Freedmen. You know what I mean? Like something in my mind, just, what I'm saying, in my historical lens of like, looking at the landscape of history was like, maybe Freedmen might be the better, nomenclature that we should be calling ourselves by. And so, the couple of brothers that are still in this movement with me, who have, created the organization that I am president of, Freedmen Agenda League of Michigan. So Freedmen Agenda League of Michigan, we have a website, you can look us up and so on and so forth. But prior to that, come to that formation, you know what I'm saying, I latched on to the Freedmen because like you said, the Freedmen's Bureau. I'm thinking Freedmen should be like the better, name that we should go by. You know what I'm saying? But I was like screaming into the dark, Naheem. I was screaming into the dark. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was like, that was like an antiquated, title or name or you know what I'm saying, or nomenclature, right? And then I saw y'all brothers talking about it. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not alone. You know what I mean? I'm not alone in this.
That's right. That's what's up. So the frequency was out there.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like minds think alike.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean? And then so like, I'm still in the ADOS thing, right? You know what I mean? Because I'm still part of the ADOS Detroit movement.
You mean
at that time, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, the ADOS Detroit movement pretty much have joined the Freedom Agenda League. It's like majority of that chapter joined with us, you know what I'm saying, or joined with me or joined with us. I want to say it's a me type thing. I won't ever take claim for that. But you know what I'm saying? Like I started like pumping out y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, BTP, like, yeah, okay, yeah, y'all talking Freedmen, okay, yeah. And then we had some, some glizzy globbers that was all over, you know what I'm saying, that particular movement, you know what I mean, those particular individuals. And it's not about individuals. And because that's one of the things that I learned about, because I'm a military dude, you know what I mean? Okay, so my story is that I came out of, downriver Detroit. I joined the military in 1997. I joined the military intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Like that's who I was. I was military intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So like, being in the army, being in the military, you know what I'm saying? It's not about any one individual. It's never about one individual. It's all about the collective group, which I was already kind of, as a preteen, being a scholar of the Panthers, you know what I'm saying, I was already into. So again, so whenever I see, certain people, trying to claim, their own separate thing, or, they're trying to be worshipped or whatever, it's like that already turns me off at my very core, based off of my previous.
Wait, hold on. Because I want to ask you a serious question. From your observation of BTP, and just, be honest, man. So just do we come off that way to you? Do we seem like the type of people that look like we're trying to start some cult and we need to be worshipped or praised in this space? Like, what is your take of BTP?
Absolutely not. I would never say that. Like that was the thing that gravitated me to you even more, bro. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I've seen a lot of different movements. I've studied a lot of different movements. And those who sacrifice are the type of guys that you are. You, Ali, Josh, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry if I don't name everybody on the team, but like you guys are the type of guys that I will follow, from a military perspective, through the trench and through a wall and through the freaking, you know what I'm saying, everything through, because you dudes are selfless service. You know what I'm saying? We have a term in the military called selfless service, man. You know what I mean? And you guys are the epitome of that. And that's what I gravitated to from a guy that has been part of the military complex since the time I was 17 going into 18. You know what I mean? I'm you know what I mean? I'm part of like the government institution as far as that is concerned, as far as being a part of the military. So like, no, you guys expressed everything that I knew that was right about this movement, man. And I'm not trying to like big y'all up, but like for real, like from a dude that has been part of, you know what I'm saying, the federal government, United States Army, military complex and all of that. Like I know what leadership looks like, you know what I'm saying? And you guys are what leadership is. You know what I mean? And this is coming from military dude to non-military dudes, because like y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying? From what I know, y'all never been part of the government complex. I have.
Only Logic.
You know what I'm saying?
I shout out to our brother Logic. Logic was actually a sergeant, special forces. It wasn't nothing that we talked about on air, because some things you just gotta keep to yourself. But brother Logic was a badass in the military. A badass.
Yeah. And one of our other brothers was actually a Navy man too.
That's right, Grimm, our brother Grimm. That's right,
brother Grimm. You know what I'm saying? But like you see it. You know what I mean? Like you see it. Like I never had the information till you just drop that right now. But you see it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I can tell like y'all guys are for real, man. You know what I mean? And because, you know what I mean, I was willing to support you guys against my chapter, you know what I mean? That's what caused the kerfuffle in our own chapter, in the ADOS chapter, because it was like we had like 2-3 individuals that were, willing to support the cult type stuff versus the people type stuff, man. And this is all about people, man. It's all about the mission. you know, as a military person, the mission is always supreme. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's beyond, it's not the individual, it's the mission. Well, what are we trying to do this, you know, to get the mission done? It's not one independent person or individual. It's all about the mission. And
Look,
you guys are about the mission, man.
Let me say, brother, right? Look at what you just said about it not being about one individual person. It's a team of us up here. It's a team. Everybody knows BTP by its members. So when you say BTP, you think of everybody that's within that group, right? And that's what we're trying to do with the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. That we're trying to create it to whereas we know and recognize each other all across the country. I don't know if it may be an insignia, a logo, or whatever it may be, but we are trying to rebuild a connection between ourselves. We are trying to mend those broken wires that were cut, those cords that were cut by the wicked devils in this country that wanted to make sure that we remained at the bottom of the bottom. And when you're at the bottom, it's every man for himself. The crab in the barrel theory is understated, right? Or I could say it's a misunderstood theory because we use it in an analogy that the other crabs are intentionally trying to pull the other crabs back into the barrel when all of the crabs are just trying to escape. And they're grasping onto anything that they can so that they can climb up. And a lot of times, the thing that it grabs onto, well, every time is another crab, right? And usually that the weight causes everybody to fall back to the bottom. We want to destroy the barrel. We want to just destroy the whole barrel.
Exactly. Going to that same analogy, right? I don't know where I heard it from, but it was like crabs in a barrel act that way because they're not supposed to be in a barrel, bro. You know what I mean? They're not supposed to be in a barrel, you know what I'm saying, at all. That's why they act that way. Crabs are they're not supposed to be in a barrel. They're supposed to be free. You know what I mean? So when you put people in bad situations, that's how you get the crime in the inner cities and so on and so forth. You know the drug gangs, the crack, the crack epidemic, and so on and so forth, man. Because that's in its natural state, they wouldn't behave in that way.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that's why
the analogy further. That's what I love about our group. That's what I love about this channel. Y'all make sure y'all hit like. Y'all make sure y'all share this video out. Let people know that the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen, we're opening up. We are taking applications on our website, usadof.org. Let me put that link in the chat. The applications are up. We're going to be holding a Zoom. Well, we use Google Meets. We don't hold Zoom. We don't use Zoom necessarily. But we're going to be holding a virtual meeting next week on Saturday at 3 p.m. We're going to be talking about establishing new chapters in every state, how that gets done. We're going to be talking about organizational structures, et cetera, et cetera. So y'all make sure y'all send an email to my email address, naheem@usadof.org or freedmen@usadof.org. And if you would like to be a part of the organization, we are an official recognized 501c3 in this country. How we are established as a 501c3 is so powerful because they are attacking our history. And when we set this organization up, it was to attack the attack on our history by the Daughters of the Confederacy, by the Sons of Confederate Veterans, by all of these right-wing groups that made it seem as if our enslavement was joyful, and that we got to sip mint julep tea with the slave masters after a hard day of work. And said, no, it didn't happen that way. And we're not going to let anyone erase our history. And those places, wait, real quick, Josh, in those places where the monuments of the traitors came down, we are going to erect monuments of our freedmen, freedom fighters, because those are the people that this country is supposed to be honoring. Go ahead, bro.
Facts. And that goes right into our agenda item on the website of deconfederatization.
That's right.
And that's actually something that's been going on. You know, if you look around the country, you might have noticed that some of these military bases have been renamed. There was an act that went through. I don't know if it was an act or it was an executive action, but I know Fort Lee, Fort Polk, Fort Pickett, and all these Confederate.
I think Fort Bragg was renamed like recently.
Fort Bragg. It's a bunch of them that were renamed,
Mike
and that's
Pence
part of deconfederation.
Huh? Mike Pence said if he's president, he's going to rename it back to Fort Bragg.
See, these people want to do reconfederatization. These are neo-Confederates, and that's why you need an organization like United Sons of Daughters of Freedmen to fight against neo-Confederates and the reconfederatization and the maintaining of confederatization around the country. Even though they renamed military bases, there's still a lot more to go. There's still a lot more. I mean, there's a current fight right now in the school books. You seeing they want to roll back a bunch of language, a bunch of teaching in the books. Like all of that is confederatization. All of that is for the same purposes that they wanted to kill Reconstruction, the same purposes that they wanted to, the Supreme Court wanted to give Plessy versus Ferguson a certain ruling, the same reason that the United States government wanted to implement certain de jure law that was for segregation. And that is to roll back the status of American freedmen back to that of a subjugated status of just simply a Negro or a slave, and that's what we have to fight against. And none of this stuff should be taken lightly, because all of it is an act of confederatization. And it's so interesting because the same people that are doing Confederate acts are people who are claiming to be patriotic. And they violate the principles of the Constitution. And it's the freedmen that have always the ones that really enforce the Constitution, that have upheld and promoted the upholding of constitutional principles, and even got amendments of the Constitution. And I want to say one more thing, because Brother Naheem, you mentioned the right wing. It's not just the right wing. Now, today in 2023, it's not just the right wing that we have to fight against. It's also it's the erasure. It's two sides of the genocide, and the ethno side. It's through the erasure, even of course through some of your liberals and progressives. That's and they right. do it via replacement and because I was reading Michelle Alexander's piece earlier, and she was talking about, slavery was extreme exploitation, through slave labor. And then she talked about the period of Jim Crow segregation, etc., as a period of subordination, just to make you have a subordinate status, even though you're supposed to have the same rights as everybody else. Right. But now, because they don't need freedmen labor, and they're not really interested in the subordination because they don't need the labor to exploit the labor force and all that kind of stuff. Now it's really to the point where we're just marginalized. Just go ahead, throw them away, put them away, get them out of here, move them. We don't, get them out of the cities, gentrify them, put them in jail. We don't care the crime rate, the murder rate. We don't care about none of that. We don't care if they're poor and they got way higher poor health and they have a higher a lower life expectancy. None of that. It's just marginalization. And it gets to the point where you have such extreme levels of marginalization that you start to see extinction, or what she says, extermination. And so That may sound extreme to some of y'all, but that's really what's happening. It's just a slow, silent, you know, not really talked about thing. And that's what we got to fight against. And that's not just a right wing thing. That's also something that comes through the policies of the left wing. And the main thing they use is mass immigration and some of the policies of benign neglect to get that done. So I'm gonna go ahead, brother Gerard. I think he was trying to say something.
I lost my train of thought, but here's the thing. BTP, you guys are inspiration to me, man. And hopefully I was able to get that across.
Oh yeah,
Man, y'all my brothers, man.
5 different times. Because and thank you, man, because we do what we do. Let me just say this. Let me cut you off real quick. We do what we do, and we don't really ask for much. Of course, we always ask for support for the platform, and to get a sign of appreciation like that, like you gave tonight, is very, very empowering, and it's motivational. And this work, it drains you. It drains you because you're dealing with life, and then you're dealing with this, and you're dedicated to life. You can't just let life go, right? I could let this go tomorrow. All right. If I want to, I could say, you know what, I'm done with this, but I can't let life go. But because I know that this is impacting me right now, because it impacted me when I was 30. It impacted me when I was 20, when I was 10, when I was 1. It impacted my mother and my father and their mothers and their fathers before them. And it's going to impact my children. It's going to impact their children. And it only gets worse. It doesn't get any better. It gets worse. So what we're doing right now is for the betterment of our progeny. And we believe that our organization, the way it's structured, the information that we teach, etc., there's just nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And so we're going to keep pushing so that we could keep bringing you this quality information, but also so that we could have these boots on the ground, literally on the ground. Again, I want you to finish, Brother Gerard. I just want to say our membership is applications are up on the website, usadof.org. We are having a meeting, a virtual meeting next week, Saturday at 3 p.m. for anybody that's interested in starting a chapter, wanting to become a member. You want to learn more, hit me up. I'll put my email addresses in the inbox. If you know me, if we're friends on Facebook, Twitter, etc., send me a DM. Find a way to get in contact with me. Naheem at usadof.org or Freedmen at usadof.org. That's the email addresses. Get in contact with Josh, get in contact with Ali, get in contact with Ibrahim, Sister Riri, get in contact with anybody that's connected with the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. We are growing this thing out. Ain't no stopping us in the hell. Ain't no stopping us now. Go ahead, Brother Gerard. And then Ali, go in, bro.
Hey, okay, so as the president of the Freedmen Agenda League of Michigan, man, we definitely will be partnering with you guys for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because our missions are very, very much in line and tuned, and we're gonna get this across the finish line, man. You know, through all the obstacles that we have to go through. You know, when I hear people push back upon reparations and they say like, oh, you know, how are y'all asking the white man for reparations and this and this and that? He ain't gonna never give it to you. I say, well, if we had that same thought, we never would have been liberated through the worst of the worst, which was slavery. You know what I'm saying? That to me is the baseline. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we would have never gotten beyond that point if we had people that thought like those who think against reparations. So to me, you know, as well as with civil rights and so on and so forth, right? So, you know, we just got to keep on driving. Like you said, it, you know, we you know, like Martin Luther King said, you know, I may not reach there with you. I may not get to the mountaintop, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, we laying the groundwork, the
That's right.
generations after us to be able to get there, man. We go and but best believe we're gonna take it all the way as much as we can to that goal line. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get there. We're gonna be hey man, the way I figure out, we in the red zone. You know what I'm saying?
That's
We
right.
in the red zone.
That's right.
You know, we taking a rock there, man.
That's right. We up against a good defense, man. We up against a mixture between the Tampa Bay, New York Giants, and Baltimore Ravens. You know, those defensive winning teams of those Super Bowl years. But we got some good quarterbacks, man. We got some good running backs, and we got some good, you know, we got some good brothers on that line that's striving to protect us. And we're gonna get in that end zone. We're gonna get in there.
We got the tight ends. We're gonna do some RPOs. We're gonna do some RPOs. We're gonna run the runner. We're gonna run the flank to the left. You know what I'm saying? Bring it over there to the right. You know, boom. They're looking this way, that way. Hey, boom. We got the tight end grabbing, you know, Gronk and all of them grabbing grabbing the air off the ball. You know what I'm saying, man? We gonna get there, bro. We gonna get there.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Brother Ali, you want to share something? Because after that, I'm going to pull up something that's powerful that the family probably did not know about. Because I know people are wondering about membership and it being exclusive to Freedmen, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I would just like to say thank you and much gratitude to our brother Gerard here, and you know, for the kind words and definitely for the donations, man. I really would like to thank you and let you know that you are greatly appreciated for that, and keep up the great work you guys are doing out there as well. So I'm looking forward to us partnering on things, you know, moving forward, because that's what it's about. We gotta bring things together. So peace to you, my brother.
Much love, man. Much love, man. Much love.
Honest. All right. So, man, this was a powerful stream. I knew it was gonna be. I felt it. Sometimes I just know when our streams is gonna be a certain way. And depending on that, I know how I'm gonna be that particular night. And then sometimes I get to talking and I'll be stumbling over my words because I'll be hyped. But that didn't happen tonight because that's partly because I'm not reading a bunch of stuff either. But people want to know about our organization, and if it could only be for American freedmen, right? Our organization is gonna have auxiliaries, right? We're gonna have allies who can become members of our auxiliaries because we are the American freedmen. But the core of our freedmen organization as American freedmen is going to be American freedmen, point blank, period. So I want to, this is the wrong thing. Hold on, my bad. This is the wrong thing. I want to show, because I know people say, well, you can't just create something that's only for, one group of people. Well, it's not true. This is a list of the lineage societies in the United States of America, some of whom are actually 501c3 organizations, right? And some of them, look, ethnic fraternal orders in Canada, ethnic fraternal orders in the United States, ethnic fraternal orders. These are what are called the lineage societies. Look, we was just bringing these people up. United Daughters of the Confederacy, right? This is a lineage organization. So what we are establishing is a lineage organization. And that's what the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen is. And from the 501c3, we are going to expand that outward. But we're going to open up our doors to those that want to become allies with us via our auxiliary. We haven't structured that part of it yet. I can be transparent. Right now, we're focusing on our people and what we need to do for us. The stuff that we need to do for us it's a lot. It is a whole lot. So I wanted to share that with the people, and I wanted people to know that, here's another list of hereditary and lineage organizations from A through Z. We see Children of the American Revolution, Children of the Confederacy. We don't have to guess what they are about, right? And we can now call ourselves a freedmen society. And the more that we grow, the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen will also be on this list as a lineage society. And that's contingent upon us growing as an organization, right? And this is the group, this is a nonprofit, the Hereditary Society Community of the United States. And they are the ones that convey the public interface of over 300 lineage societies. Family, we're not playing. We're not playing, family. We are dead serious about this thing right here, man. Honors, Brother Dre. Brother Dre said definitely a powerful night for the good guys, aka the Freedmen. Honors, bro. Honors. Yeah, man. Yeah. We are a part of the Hereditary Society community in this country. In fact, we are the premier. We just didn't know. And over the next couple of weeks, for those of us that's in our circle as organizations and even connected organizations, we're going to talk about some of the laws that are still on the books, that we are going to take advantage of, that we are going to resurrect by breathing life into them, that we are going to get politicians to lobby for, so that we can have those things resurrected and funded. Just stay tuned, because we are an organization that has a plan. We're an organization that has a plan, and that's why we bring up our 12-point agenda. Let me pull that back up while we're on here. Let me pull that back up, because we have an agenda. Number 3 is what Josh talked about earlier. The complete deconfederatization of the United States of America. No child in Germany is forced to attend schools named after Adolf Hitler or drive down a road named in honor of the Nazi regime or its officers. By the same token, no American child should be made to attend public schools named in honor of Confederate war criminals. They're traitors and seditionists. No. There's a big Confederate flag flying over South Carolina right now, honoring the fact that they rebelled against the country, all to keep us oppressed. Not at all. Not at all. Point 4, we demand a reconstructive Freedmen agenda, which consists of a fully funded program to facilitate a state repatriation program for the American freedmen. This program will also provide the resources necessary for this relocation back to our southern states of origin, where American freedmen were forced to escape due to government-sanctioned domestic terrorism and state oppression. These states are Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. 5 of these states we're putting more focus on. And I'm going to add actually a 6th state. I might swap a state out of my personal 5, to be honest with you. I'm looking at one state in particular that has a lot of potential for what we're trying to do political-wise. It's wide open for us, actually. And it's on this list. I'm not going to get into that on air. But yeah, man, that's right, Brother Derek Smith. Virginia was the Confederates' capital as well. That's a fact. South Carolina, Virginia, those are the deep-seated roots of the American Confederacy in this country, man. But our whole agenda, point 5, we demand a complete analysis on immigration and the effects that it has on the American freedmen today and historically. And we could call that the Barbara Jordan immigration research bill or something like that. Like we got the ideas. Our ancestors already put in the work. Their footprints are clearly cut so that we, the future generations, those of us that are here today, can see which way they have already walked. Which way they have already walked. We just gotta do the work now, family. We just gotta do the work now. So, I'm not gonna read all of these, but we talk about closing the wealth gap, voting. We wanna abolish all police departments and have those police departments converted into sheriff's departments. So instead of having 100 different police departments in a state, there's only the sheriffs. And there's one head sheriff who's in charge over all of the sheriffs in that particular state. And see, we can do that when we have power.
That's right.
That's right. When we through our reconstructive Freedmen agenda, can bring our people back south and have a voting singularity in any of the states that we are talking about. And we get to hold our own constitutional conventions. And we get to have a sheriff in charge of all of the policing that goes on in a particular state. So that way, somebody's going to be held accountable. And no cop is going to get away. Well, in this case, sheriff is going to get away with just murdering one of our people, or anybody for that matter, but especially one of our people. It won't happen. We have a plan, family. We have a plan. You could get with this or you could get with that. But I think you need to get with this because this is where it's at. We stand.
Oh, man. Yeah, buddy.
That's right.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's right. Here they come,
Here
y'all.
they come, y'all.
Here they come.
Here.
That's right. That's right.
Who's the black sheep?
Who's the black sheep? I love that. We the black sheep. Know not who I am or where I come, so they sleep. Anyway, man. Hey,
man, yo, man, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Honest, brother. So look, man, we're gonna close out. I wanted to get on here tonight and let people know that we are accepting applications. We want to have USADOF chapters in every state where they're needed. Every state where they're needed. And we need to make sure that in those states, see, the way we're establishing our structure is that each state organization and its organizational governor, that's a little name we chose. We gotta make it a little hip, right? We gotta get in line with what's going on today. So the head of each state, I'll share this part, will be called an organizational governor. And that person will run all of the sub-chapters in every state. And we know the acronym for organizational governor is what? An OG, right? So, it's just a little play on some things as we merge the pop culture, our Freedmen pop culture, if you will, into our Freedmen organization. So, I'm just hyped. I'm excited. We never got in this thing to joke or grift or entertain, et cetera, et cetera. And those that know, they know. They know. Y'all see what it is. Go to the website, put your applications in. Hit me up. Let me put my emails back in the live chat. And we got work to do, family. Let's get this work done. You don't gotta like Naheem. That's cool. That's cool. I'm used to that. It's an organization. I'm the president of this organization, but we have a board. And if I do anything that gets out of line as the president, the board gets to vote me off, and anybody else gets to get voted off. because no one person is above this organization. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. So y'all hit me up if y'all want to be on that meeting next week at 3 p.m. Saturday. Go to the website, join our email list. What else? And fill out the application. Fill out the application. Brother Ali, you got anything you want to share before we get off air?
No, bro, I think this was an excellent presentation, and you guys did a great job. And I'm here, man. I'm here.
Honest, bro. Honest, man. Shout out first before I pass it to Brother Gerard. I want to give a special shout out to my team. I want to give a special shout out to my brother Ali, my brother Josh. Yeah, Josh just popped back in. My brother Ali, my brother Josh, my brother Ibrahim, my brother Logic, and my brother Grant. And although they are not in the organization or a part of the organization right now, I'm going to always shout them out because they are co-founders and they helped build this thing to where it's at. And they will always be honored as co-founders of this organization. Point blank, period. Josh, did you want to share anything before we got off? And then I'll turn it over to Brother Gerard, and then we'll get up out of here.
No, I just want to say, when we talk about building an organization and when you're talking about locking arms and collaboration across the country, it's a powerful organization to do work with. When you think about the contributions that have been made across the country to various causes, whether it be making a contribution to talk to certain representatives that are already elected, whether it be to try to school up and mentor potential elected officials, people that are running for office, whether it be to consult to build or construct legislation or edit legislation that's or potential, I should say potential legislation that's being introduced, whether it be to critique policy or strategy, whether it be to construct letters and briefs to the Supreme Court on this thing, whether it be to the list goes on. The list goes on and on and on. But that's what we're about. And I'm just excited to envision, bringing on the more and more minds that we can just expand and grow and find more creative ways to make this thing happen. To bring on more people with the knowledge and expertise in different fields, so we can grow different programs, and also people with the resources and influence to multiply this thing, so we can get the numbers of people and to get actually get things done, as far as get stuff passed, get stuff implemented, and get stuff moving, running, and pumping. So, man, I'm excited for where we are now. I'm excited for where we've been, and I'm more excited for where we're going. So I look forward to, and I also want to give a shout out to all the other freedmen who have also, because when we say we're not just talking about Brother Josh, Brother Naheem, Brother Ali, Brother Ibrahim, Brother Logic, Brother Go.
Right.
We're talking about all the freedmen across the country.
That's
who
right.
What we understand and value collaboration, teamwork, and we put whatever other stuff to the side, and we get this thing done together. So I look forward to more of that. Shout out to all y'all around the country, and peace and love, Brother Naheem.
Oh,
Back to you.
indeed. Brother Gerard, you got anything you want to share? First, before you go in, shout out to you, brother. You definitely show support tonight. We're not used to getting that type of support, right? So I was already hyped before I even started tonight, and this, as the conversation rolled along, I was just getting hyper, and you threw an extra battery in the whole in the whole thing to just get me more hype. I'm more amped right now. So I want to let you basically get the last word before I close it out. And we announced the fundraiser and whatever I'm talking about before I get off there. Go ahead, bro.
It's all good, Naheem. You know what I'm saying? I felt this way because this is, you know what I mean? I donated in that particular fashion because, one, just to be full transparent, you know what I'm saying? I came into some money, you know what I'm saying? And so I shared it with the
So
bros,
wait a
you know what
minute.
I'm
Hold
saying?
on. Hold on. You
Go,
came.
go ahead.
Wait a minute. So you came into some personal money and you
Yeah,
shared it with the that's what I'm talking about. Because
yeah,
BTP, let me just be transparent too. We're working on getting some funding, and we don't know how long that's going to take, right? But when we get it,
right.
soon as we get it, we're gonna hit up the other Freedmen organizations. We're gonna make sure,
Exactly.
like, oh, this area is for what we're trying to do and the advocate. We're not gonna try to hide it and just try to make ourselves stand apart from everybody else because we don't get down like that. That's just not how we rock.
Right,
I
right,
want to
right, right, right.
highlight and stress that what you just said because that is important for I grew up where real recognize real and real ones do real things. So honest, brother. But please continue.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like earlier, I said, yo, you got to put your money where your mouth is. It's something. If you're passionate about something, you know what I mean, and that's what you're about, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gonna share love. You gonna give everybody out, man. You know what I mean? I'm from Detroit. Some of you all may have known about, you know what I'm saying? GM decided to like say, hey, we want to let you all guys go, but you know what I mean, if you go voluntarily, we'll give you a nice little parachute. So with that being said, you know what I'm saying, I came into some money in reference to the company that I work for, i.e. I can say it now because it's past tense. General Motors. I work for General Motors, and you know what I'm saying, and they gave me a severance package, and so therefore, you know what I'm saying, I had a little change, you know what I'm saying, to give out to everybody else, you know what I mean, because of that policy. Either or, the point being is that I was a reparationist prior to that. You know what I'm saying? When I was working for the company, I was a reparationist. You know what I'm saying? I've been in this movement, I want to say, since at least at the very, 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 very minimum, since like 2017, 2018. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And so all I'm doing is just giving, giving props where props is due, because you know what I'm saying, so much of what you guys have done has supported me and has made me propped up to say, listen, to create an organization here in Detroit where I was not afraid to say, listen, we need to be freedmen. You know what I mean? When we split from Yvette Carnell's organization, the question was, you know what I'm saying, what should we be called by, and so on and so forth. And from the very beginning, prior to even, me even knowing you, Naheem, I didn't know you at all. I didn't know BTP at all. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, like minds think alike. You know what I'm saying? And and it resonated, the fact that you guys were using the word freedman, and actually it actually caused the breakup of the ADOS Detroit organization, because I was willing to say, like, yo, BTP, I'm backing these guys and what they're saying, you know what I mean, and I'm backing, you know what I mean, like I resonate with what they're saying. That caused a rift in the ADOS Detroit organization. Hence, that's why we are now called the Freedmen Agenda League of Michigan. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I've talked about that. We've talked about that in other spaces. But nonetheless, I want to put my money where my mouth is. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you guys have gave us so much game, so much historical information, man. You guys are solid, man. And I've never met you in person, but I know based off the fact of my life and my scholarship that you guys are solid as hell. And I want to supported you. I want to support all of the guys in BTP today. I gave $500, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, off a random string. But the fact is that I, you know what I'm saying, I have it so I can give it to you guys, and you pay to the scholars, man. That's the way it is, man. You pay it to the scholars, bro. You know what I'm saying? You pay it to the guys who are doing the work, you know what I mean? And so this is my contribution, my respect to you guys and your scholarship and education to the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? I'm here with y'all, man. 100%, man. You know what I mean? I'm here with you guys. You know, I don't know how else the best to say it, man, but I'm here with you all. I'm real about the work, and we're gonna get this done. We're gonna get this through this finish line, man, for our kids. Because at the end of the day, it ain't about us. We ain't gonna see this. More likely than not, we're not gonna see this, kids.
We might if we fight hard enough. I tell myself we're gonna see it. I tell, and we got everybody got their perspective and views. That's just what I tell myself. Yeah. That's why I go so hard. I go so hard because I have to see it. I have to, and I want my parents and my grandmother that's 87 years old. You know, she ain't got too much longer on this earth. I want her to see something before she get up out of here. I want her to see something, and I want her to know that her grandson was involved in making that something happen. You know, so that's why I go so hard the way that I do, brother. Salute to you, brother Derek Smith said. Salute to Sergeant Gerard, Sister Sacra.
100%. I know, but really ain't even about me, man. It's salute to the BTP team, man. I mean, I've been watching y'all. I've been following you all, man. Like honestly, you guys are the scholars. You know what I'm saying? You are the alum. And you know what I'm saying? As far as, you know, us Muslim people that speak and understand Arabic to a little bit, you guys are the scholars, man. You know what I mean? And when you have scholars and you have dedicated people in this work, you got to support them. You know what I mean? And so, hey, I fell into some little bit of money. You know what I mean? And I'm going to support my scholars. I'm going to support the leaders. And I support you, Naheem. I support you, Ali. I support you, Josh. I support, you know what I'm saying, the other brothers in the BTP, Ibrahim, Tanner. I support all of y'all, man, because that's because at the end of the day, that's really where my heart is, man. And you got to put your money where your heart is, and you guys are the heart, man. So I'm gonna support y'all, irregardless whether we fail, whether we make it or not. Hey, I did what I did. I could go to my creator and say, hey, I did this for my people at the end of the day. So that's all I'm going to say. At the end of the day, I love y'all. I support y'all, and that's it.
We love you too, brother, man. And we love all of our Freedmen family out there, man. Josh, I don't know. Did I come to you already?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm about I'm about to get off of here, but I want to put the link to the fundraiser in the live chat again. And I want to let the family know that I am going on a tour. I'm going to try to hit up 2 HBCUs a month over the next 6 months. And I can do that with your help. I can do that with your help because these other organizations are being funded by big money. And that fast. I just started this fundraiser before we started this, and people are appreciating what it is that we at BTP are doing. And we just raised $275. So honest to anybody that's still watching and you've contributed to the fundraiser. Honest to anybody that sent in cash apps. Honest to anybody that had Gerard sent in super chats tonight. We, in the meantime, we need the support of our people. if everybody needs to wake up to this Freedmen thing of ours, because it's ours. It's all 40 plus million of ours. That's what I wanted to bring up too, but I'll not share it. But I wanted to bring up the ethnic chart in this country to show that our people, the American freedmen, are 12.22% of the population. We are second after Germans. See, they add everybody else up and create this race thing. And then the Germans, the Irish, English, Italian, they all get to become white. But when you look at the ethnic breakdown in the United States, it's Germans, then it's us. When you look at West Indians / Caribbeans, it's only they're only 9.2% of the population. None of the African countries even register in the top 30. They don't even register in the top 30 at all. And these are the top 30 ethnic groups, with one being German and the 30th being Portuguese. And we are number 2. We are the second largest ethnic group in this country. Fam, we got to go and teach our people. And in doing that, we have to teach everybody, because there's a lot of people that's confused about what this reparations fight is about. And some people are mad that we have chosen to self-identify ourselves, and they shouldn't be, because they get to self-identify. They get to fly the flags of their home countries, and they get to practice their cultural practices. And we are doing the same exact thing. It's just that it's more pronounced now because we're fighting for reparative justice, and the fact that those things have eluded us excuse me, for generations. There's no need to fight against us. Join us in the fight. If you're saying that we should fight against a common quote unquote enemy or common quote unquote oppressor, because we cannot and shouldn't be fighting everybody else while we're fighting the avid racists and bigots in this country whose only goal is to see us at the bottom perpetually. We are not having it anymore, family. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. That's right, Sister Satra Del Rey. We definitely need the HBCUs to buy the our Be the Power Civics guides. We all of that's coming. All of that's coming. With y'all's help, we can make it happen. We're on a mission, and we want you all, the Freedmen family, to be on that mission with us. We are one family bearing one free national name. We are the American Freedmen. I leave you all with the motto of our, matter of fact, before I do that, don't forget this Saturday at 3:00, we are holding a virtual meeting. Hit me up. I'll put my email address in the live chat. If you know how to contact me on Twitter, if we follow each other, contact me. If we're following each other on Facebook, hit me up. If we're following each other on IG, just hit me up so that you could get that link and be a part of that meeting, because we are, like I said, going to establish our structure, and we are going to start our chapters. The membership application, they're open, fam. They're open. It's time. It is time for our resurrection. So I leave you all with the motto of the platform, and that is, don't just fight the power, become the power. And then and only then will you have the power to make a change. And with that, I say peace.